what happened. That's just sometimes that's what happens here for some reason. It's really weird. So hopefully you guys will all come back. We had a great conversation going on. So come on back in here and we'll get started again. Uh, Hopefully some of you guys will find me again. I know it takes a minute or two, and you go, "Oh crap, we lost 200 some odd people on here at one time." Okay, well, I'm going to continue going on this, see if anybody joins me. Okay. Hey, hi Michael. Well, don't know what yet. It's we can call it technical issues, but quite honestly, I don't know what it is. I can go sometimes for hours and it doesn't go off at all, and then other times, for some reason, my upload just stops. It has nothing to do with the phone. The phone's in full charge. I got full Wi-Fi. I've got full signal. Everything's full signal, but I think it's Xfinity or my internet provider. Sometimes they don't give you as much room for uploading as they do for downloading because they're worried about how fast can people download a movie or something, not how fast can they upload a video. And I think they give priority to one over the other. Anyway, so here we are, and I think I got that narrowed out pretty good. I might want to take this down just a hair. It's still a little bit thick looking to me. So I will give it just a little bit of a trim. I don't know how much. There's something right there. It feels weird when I'm doing it, but it doesn't. I don't feel it when I get my hands in there. I don't know what that is. I'm really testing it. I'm really testing it. And it's not coming off. That's good. They're coming loose. That's good. Okay. Still don't like that. Well, tell me, guys, to your eyes, to your eyes, does this look like it's thin enough around the edges here, or do you think I'm going to thicker? To me, it looks like it still needs to be taken down a little bit in here. It just looks like it slopes, I don't know, downward a little bit to me. It's just really hard to get it in there more. Not a lot of space. And I'm a little nervous using the carbide there. This can be a little too aggressive. I'm trying to very carefully cut into that lower corner. Let's see how that looks. That's better. That feels a lot better. Now I just need to straighten out the bottom a little bit, and that should be fine. I think I just need to. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I can't quite go down another quarter inch here. I might be along the edge here. Well, you know what? You're right. That edge just needs a little bit more. I'm just not going to be happy with it until I get it right where I want it. So you're right. Let's see, did I get that there? Yeah, that got it. Okay. I think that got it now. I don't want to go too much further in there. I'll have a problem. So let me get this vacuumed out just a little bit, and we'll move on to our next project, which should be even more fun than this one was. Especially when you have something like this burl with a lot of little crevices in it, you want to use a vacuum to kind of get some of that extra stuff out of there. There we go. I'm sorry I lost some of you earlier. If you're back on here after watching the earlier video, please hit the like button again because this is considered a new video. So if you can hit the like button again, that would really help. And it will help this video. And hey, new beginnings, Chase. How you doing? Glad you could make it in here. Hey, Fisher King, welcome aboard. Yeah, we're trying to get people back in here after we lost a few with the internet screwing us up a little bit. So trying to catch back up again. But this was the first of 3 bowls that we were doing today. And let me get a little sanding on here real quick, and then we'll put some finish on it, and we'll move on to the next bowl. So this was kind of fun since we didn't know what we would encounter on the inside. Okay, we're going to do a little reverse. One of the reasons we really like having a reverse on our lathe, especially on pieces of burl and pieces like this that have a lot of figuring in them, it really helps clean stuff out. Oops, there you go. Got that. Now that was just 80 grit. That was just to knock some things off. Okay. This is kind of refining it. We got all that dust going right into the dust collector. And I also have an air dust collector going on, so it goes in here, and anything comes out of the 1 micron bag will also get picked up by the other filter. So try and keep it relatively dust clean in here. So, Michael, when are you going to get another video out? Wilson, I mean, been waiting for a couple more pen videos. I'm not sure if you saw, but I did make that one fountain pen. I got the idea from you, actually. I have a friend who's really into pens, so I made one for Christmas. Hospital waiting room, waiting for my wife to get out of surgery. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope everything's okay. Yeah, waiting in emergency, especially right before Christmas. I hope this was planned and not something that surprised you all at once. I hope this was a planned event that allows a person to go back home before Christmas and all that. Just a knee clean out. Well, it's just a knee clean out if it's not your knee. If it's your knee, then all of a sudden it's not just a knee clean out, right? But well, I'm glad that it's nothing too serious. But sounds like you'll be doing most of the work around around the house for Christmas for a few days, I'm guessing. Okay, so let's put some finish on this and get this off the chuck. I can turn that off for a minute. Get this in here. Get the brush. And start brushing this out a little bit. Then you'll get a chance to see I'll bring it in a little bit so you can see what it's looking like. I appreciate all you guys coming back after I lost you on the other video, and please understand if I lose you again, I will. I try to keep looking up. I will try and restart again right away. So if you see it go into a cycle of death and not come back after, say, 30 seconds or so, just go get something to drink or whatever, and come back and check again and see if we haven't restarted another part of the video. We'll just do parts 1, 2, and 3 if we have to. But I do appreciate you guys being back in here for the second part. There we go. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And this is just a small bowl. But the reason for this bowl was to see what happens with its brother, this one, that had a lot more funny figuring, and it's closer to the edge of the bowl. So there can be cracks, there can be a lot of this stuff taking on inside. So this is going to be more of a challenge. This also may have more color to it. Different part of the piece of wood. Out of the shop until January 6th. So that's okay. We all have our priorities that we have to take care of, especially with the kiddies at home and, all that stuff. So I understand. Around here, the kids are home, but you wouldn't know it. You don't hear any difference outside when they're home or not, because nobody goes outside anymore. They're all inside playing on their video games and not riding bicycles or any of the things we did when we were kids. It's kind of a shame. They're not getting any exercise, not doing anything. They're just becoming blobs. Well, I don't like this. I will go back, but again, this is for lives. I don't like I can see the streaks here, so I will get those sanded out, or I'll remount this. Nice thing about doing a recessed miter is that you can mount it. This is extremely thin here. I could not have gone any thicker, any thinner there. In fact, I'm going to be afraid just sanding it. Let's see if I can show you. Okay, I'm going to put this in here and tighten. I can do this two-handed. Let's see. There we go. That's how much there's left, roughly. And I have to sand down about an eighth of an inch or so. So I didn't leave myself much more than an eighth of an inch between the bottom and this. So that's pretty darn close. I'd say I got the most I could out of this piece of wood in that regard. So yeah, I will go back and resand that. We'll get some more finish on it. But what do you think? Do you think it's a pretty nice looking bowl? Let me get back in the page here a little. So here's the final bowl. You can see there it is. There's the bottom. There's the top, and like you see, there's a little hump right here. I want to get rid of those tool marks, and that's what the sanding's really all about. I just wanted to kind of get this showing for you. The lives are not meant to be so we get everything done perfectly at once. We work our way around it. So there's a lot of work that goes on in the shop after these lives are done. You're on dad duty, huh? Well, nothing wrong with that. They got to know they got a dad, right? I'm sure once they open up any holiday presents that they're going to get, you will probably become second to their importance right away, depending on age. But that's generally the thing, You're only as important as what gift is the next thing they opened up. Okay, so this is a little bit out of round. It's got a little bit of a long spot right here. Okay, so again, we're going to talk about that ABCs one more time. Does everybody remember what the ABCs are? I just went through them. We anchor the tool to the rest. We make sure that the bevel is in the right position. And then we cut only after the bevel is engaged properly and then we cut. Otherwise, we're going to get jammed, right? We don't come in like this. You don't do the end of a piece like this with a gouge. You come at it like this, at this angle here, and you cut across. That's how you engage and get a rounded end piece. And that's why I left this one square, just so we could kind of watch that a little bit more. Okay, so let's see what this one looks like when I get it spinning. Put my helmet on. Get this up to speed here. Boom. I have to take a much lower angle on that. I took that first one very slowly. I'm going to move my tool rest in. Okay. And we're going to take another run. You notice I'm anchored. I got the bevel in the right spot. And we are now, we're not round yet, but we're getting much closer to that. Okay. We took off about a quarter of an inch or so. And now we're going to go again. I'm going to kick the speed up just a little bit more. There. And in about four times through, there we go. So 4 times through, and we got this round. Okay. And I'm going to leave this bark on here. I think it looks cool, as long as it'll stay. Don't know if it will, but we're going to leave that bark on this one. It's going to look a little bit different than the other bowl. Now the bottom of this is pretty darn flat. I don't have to do a whole lot to this, but we'll do the same thing we did on the previous one. We'll come over here. Okay. This time I'm just doing a scraping cut. Okay. Now I will use my skew to kind of finalize this a little bit. I think I need to raise my rest. There we are. In this case, I was using the tailing end, which was from here to here. I was using the tailing end to do all the cutting. You notice the cutting is not coming off the front end. Now that is pretty flat. We have a nice flat bottom. We're going to have an interesting, I don't know if I can get a tenon on here or not, the way it's figured, but we're going to try. This is going to be a little bit more of a challenge than the last one was. So, guys, if you can, hit that like button. If you hit the like button before on the other one, that's okay. Hit the like button again. This is a new video in a sense. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Okay. I will use this to square things off. Okay. See how close we are here. Boy, golly, I am right on there. So, to give myself just a little bit of room to expand it, we will go right here. Okay. And that should just about work. And whether that's going to be strong enough, that's another story. Got a little high spot here. There we go. And we'll get this. Okay. Nice and clean. All right. See, we got holes and cracks, holes and cracks. So again, it's going to be a little bit of question mark. Will it hold? We'll have to see. Let me get on the outside here and just do a little bit of cleanup work, and we'll be ready to sand and turn this around that quick. You don't have to spend a lot of time truing up and getting your bowl ready for the other side. And I think this one, because of the nature of the way those curves are, this one we're going to leave a little bit wider at the top and then a little bit thinner at the bottom. Kind of the opposite of what we did on the last one. See, yeah, we got all that bark to deal with, and it's bouncing a little bit right here. Turn the speed up a little. Okay. Yeah, turning the speed up kind of takes a little bit of that bounce out of it. So there you go. We just got another bowl started here. Yeah, 41 likes. I appreciate the likes, but I'd like more subs and more likes if we can. We've got 140 people in here. It'd be nice to have 140 likes. That would be tremendous. I mean, you're getting the entertainment value. I hope. I know I haven't had anything fly off yet. Maybe that's the entertainment value you're looking for. I don't know. sometimes that's what people watch for. They want to go. They want to watch the. They're going to NASCAR and they want to watch the car wrecks, right? That's kind of what people want to see. I better turn this on, I guess. Collect the dust. Now, unlike the last burl, this one has more actual end grain showing. So we're going to be a little bit more careful with this. We have more bark showing, more end grain showing. And if we're not careful, we'll end up with cool marks showing during the sanding process. That looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah. Move on to the next one. We're just doing this real quickly. I want you guys getting bored or anything. If you got to sand, if you don't sand, I'm going to reverse this. If you don't sand, you don't really get a good finish. Alright, this is shining up pretty good now. Okay, that should do it. We won't belabor that point any further. We will get some of this off of me. There. Okay, we will get a little of this little juice on here and see what we look like. I think you'll like this one a little bit better. From a color standpoint, this is going to have some nice color to it. It's also going to get a little darker. This is not getting darker from the finish. This is just getting darker, like any piece of wood would when you get it wet. That's all it's doing, is it's just darkening from being wet. And it will eventually dry down, and that darkness will mostly go away. Not all of it, because you are oiling a dry surface. So the oil look will still stay. So it will be more of its oiled natural state. But you're not actually coloring the wood or anything like that. So I hope that makes sense. So what do you think of that? It is kind of pretty, isn't it? Huh? I hope you like that so far. And if you do, please like the video too. Please hit that double tap your screen or hit the like button or subscribe even if you would. Still want to get to that 4,000 mark, and we're about 120 short of that. So if we could get 120 subscribers today, and we've done that before, we've gotten 200 or more subscribers in one show. So if you guys can be one of the group that gets us to the extra 120 subscribers today, that would be great. And then we can have a little contest for just after the holidays to see who wins a bowl or a tool. We'll see what you maybe your preference is. So okay, so I'm going to look at this. I'm looking at this miner, and I'm thinking I might need to go just a hair deeper, only because of the cracks here. I'm thinking maybe I will go just a little tiny bit deeper, not much, just a little bit deeper, because that's there's not a whole lot to hold on to here. So let's see. Yeah, that's a little tiny bit. It's really not. It's negligible. We're talking probably a 32nd of an inch, but that 32nd of an inch might make the difference between getting a good grip and getting a so-so grip. So I'm willing to give up a 32nd of an inch to keep a bull from flying off in the middle of a turning. And it probably wouldn't have. It probably would have been just fine. You really do not need much, and I've been harping on that for many months now, that you do not need much to hold in that wood. But just to be on the safe side here, because I want to make it through the holidays too. So just like the rest of you, you're still here, out and about, but here. Okay, great. So you like the wood, huh? Okay, well, we're going to turn this around and see what this one looks like. And remember, we turned this one earlier, and it's already dried, by the way. So you need to see the difference between the dry finish and the wet finish. Get that in there. Okay. But or I guess I can put it this way for you. You can see it. Okay. So here's the dry finish. Here's the wet finish. So a couple more coats when you need to be done on these two. Let me wipe that down just a bit. Okay. There. All right. We'll take this off. We will get the screwdriver, or the drill. Screwdriver. Get the drill, and we'll take these off. So you're getting a 3 for today. This is the second of 3 bowls that we're going to be taking and turning, and we're going to be able to compare the differences, even though it's the same species of wood, but how you can find different things in different pieces. They can surprise you. And that was kind of the whole idea of the experiment here today, was let's be surprised by what we find. So far, we have been a little bit, not a lot, but we have been a little bit surprised. You do get used to reading this kind of wood, and I've turned several pieces of this oak burl, so I kind of already have a good suspicion of what I'm going to find each time. All right, now I want to have that up against that. See if I'm on there right. Looks like it's a little off. Yeah, it looks a little bit off canter. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I see. Right there. Okay. Well, we will see what we can do here. There's just a little bit of a high spot right there. Hopefully that got it. So put this on like so. Tighten. Let's see now. Ah, better. Yeah, it was just a little tiniest hair of wood that was just a little bit raised from the rest, and that's all it took. That's all it took for it to be out of us round. So okay. So I think that says Matt. I can't really read that. Okay, I'm sorry. But any guy, 140 of you in here, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you can. 190 in here now. So please hit the like button and subscribe. We are going to start turning this inside. See what we can come up with, okay? I think I'm still sharp. We'll see. I think I need to raise this just a little bit. There we go. Ah, okay, that's what I'm hitting. This is a little bit more solid inside than the other one was, but we're starting to come up against some of these pieces. So I think I'm going to sharpen this just a little bit. And of course, I just dropped you the microphone, so hang on a second. We'll do a little mechanical change here. Bear with me. will have to do a minor change with the phone. So, pardon me. I'll try not to bounce it around too much. Sorry. I had to switch microphones here. So hopefully you can hear me okay with this one. And let me plug this in. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you all can hear me. Please say yes if you can hear me okay. Is that all right? Can you hear it? Okay. All right. I'm going to go over here and sharpen for a second. So just bear with me here. Yeah, I think I accidentally kicked my microphone under the dust collection system here, so I'm going to have to dig that out later. And hopefully don't break anything in the process. This is why I have a spare. So I'm going to just very quickly do this. Okay, good. And just like that, we're back in business with a new edge. So it's always good. And I think, so I don't accidentally vacuum this up later, I'm going to put this out of the way. Last thing we need, right? Okay, let me put the mask back on. Get us back in position here. And we'll get started back. Okay? Sorry for that little interruption. Okay, so I'm a little bit curious here. Did any of you ask Santa Claus or your significant other for something special for your workshop this year? Or did you go out and buy it for yourself and say Merry Christmas to me? I'm curious to find out what's what people are getting out there. I will say this is much harder oak than it was in the other piece that we were doing. It just is. It's just harder oak. And we're still getting into some of these things, like we were in the last one. Oops. Wow. Oh yeah, that's what I'm running into. See, look at all that. It's going to be rough going through here. Okay. Again, please hit the like button, subscribe if you can. Please talk on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. I'd like to know where are you guys from? What part of the world are you watching from this video from? Are you watching from? Well, I guess it'd be tomorrow morning in New Zealand, right? So if you're in New Zealand or somewhere around there, it's probably mid-morning. If you're in Australia, the Philippines, or Hawaii. Hawaii, it's morning, but it's morning today, not morning tomorrow. I gotta stop for just a second. This thing is getting red hot. This is a lot harder wood, and the tip of this thing is getting red hot from the turning here. So we're gonna let that cool off. I don't want to heat up the wood. The wood might expand, and that would be bigger problems. So it's gonna give it a minute. You notice we have a lot of voids in here. We have voids here, 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 down here. So a lot of what's happening is it's going bang, 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 bang as it's coming around. So I have to kind of keep the speed up. At the same time, I got to be really careful. I don't want to snag something. So it's covering me up. We're about a little over halfway through this. Now, there's no signs of this being in the bottom, so theoretically I should be okay. Visalia, California. Well, Mr. Visalia, California, I'm in Fresno or Clovis, California, so we're right up the road from you. Hampton Wood Turnings. Are you part of our are you part of our Sequoia Wood Turners group? Still waiting to see if Hampton Wood Turnings is going to answer my question if he's in the Sequoia Wood Turnings group. I think maybe you are, sir, but I'm not placing it at the moment. That is really banging on here. I think I'm not going to be able to go much lower in here, a little bit, but not a lot lower. I'm going to have to use something else. It says, used to be. One time with president, secretary, newsletter editor, videographer. Well, I'm now the newsletter editor, and boy, could I use your help. It's I was the one dumb enough to raise my hand when they said we need someone to do the newsletter. 2017. Wow. We've got a pretty good group now, I gotta say. We got over 50. And although there's a lot of the guys that you probably know from the old days, there's also a lot of newer people. It's still quite a vital group. In fact, we've been picking up a lot of members up here in the Clovis area. I've sourced several. And I'd say this to everybody out there, check out your local wood turning groups or woodworking groups or fine wood turning. I've had a few guys that came over from the fine wood turning group and or fine woodworking group and wanted to learn how to turn things so they can make like table legs for the tables that they were building and so forth. So, and I've had a few over to the shop. Just give them the basics and let them get their hands dirty. Like anything, the best way to learn is to do, not just stand there and watch. So I make sure the guys spend most of the time with their hands on the tools. They can bring their own or they can use mine. I like them to bring their own because that way they get a chance to get practice with their tool. I'm going to go with a scraper here just to kind of clean this up a little bit. And I always refer to the scraper as it's basically a carbide tool with a lot more control because it's thicker, it doesn't bounce. Well, that's a bang, 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 bang sound. Ah, that's why. I thought that came off. And that's okay. It was going to come off. It was just, when you went that thin on the edge, that was a possibility. It did not hit me, but that's what happened. That just came right off. And I'm going to finish it off anyway. Even with that missing, it's still kind of cool looking. And that was just unsupported wood. It happens. Not the best of terms, bad experience dealing with the... Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, well, anyway, you're always welcome as far as I'm concerned. So, or you're always welcome in here. So, welcome aboard on my channel. This channel is mostly built just to help encourage wood turning and pass along a few ideas. Earlier, we were talking about the ABCs, which is you want to have a attached to this. You want this to be anchored to the surface of the rest. You want to be following. You want to be following your bevel. Get your bevel engaged, and then you start cutting. You don't want to start cutting without engaging your bevel first and following that in before you turn it. And I've shown how to do that on a couple pieces now. And we were able to round this out in a matter of just a few, like 2 or 3. I think it took 4 times on this one because it was square. It took 4 times to get it round. So I'm going to try and turn this up just a little bit. Okay. I had some tool marks right here I wanted to get out. Really can't go any deeper because we are at less than 1/4 of an inch from the bottom here. So that's the end of that. No, the nice thing about being in Visalia is you're kind of in between the two anyway, so you can go either direction, right? So still, good to hear from you. And hi, I'm Jeff. And thanks I appreciate you popping in here. It's actually amazing for an area that's known for basically not having a lot of good wood to use. Like I shouldn't say it that way. We have a lot of good wood to use, but people don't think we do because we're not like Ohio or someplace where there's a lot of hardwood. But we do have our fair share of walnut and olive and pecan and pistachio and other really nice woods to turn. In fact, I turned some juniper the other day. Oh, I wanted to remind people, if any of you were here for the video the other day, when I was talking about turning, and we weren't sure what the wood was, and somebody said they used AI and thought it was cottonwood. It was not cottonwood, it was juniper. And I found that out by kind of checking with some people that had a couple of the other pieces, and knowing the guy who contributed the wood, it wasn't indeed juniper, and that explains that smell that I had, because I thought I smelled like a juniper type peppery smell, and sure enough, that's what it was. So it was not cottonwood, it was juniper, and I did change that in the title of the video, so you all would know that. It came on me, but the piece I got was painted on all sides, and the person who had created the wood was long gone. He's unfortunately passed away, so there was no way to ask him, and we were just kind of guessing. So AI isn't always right either. Okay, I'm going to turn this up. I'll be really careful how I do that. I didn't expect this to hold together because I knew I had a lot of bark in here that was unsupported, but it happens. And again, standing in the right place and not putting myself in danger, I wasn't going to get hit by it. It came off pretty softly, apparently. Here's a couple of the pieces, and you can see I can break it with my fingers. So it was not very strong wood. So anyway, let me get one more grit on here, and then we'll finish this off, and we'll move on to the last bowl of the day, which I think will be a lot more fun. Again, if you're in here, please hit the like button or subscribe. I've got we're trying to close in on 4,000 subscribers. I think we're about 100 away. So if you could certainly help us out, if you could be one of our subscribers, it will notify you when we're having a video like this. So all my subscribers knew that I was going to be live today because they got a notification. Or at least they got a notification if they were planning to read it. But you got to be really careful when you do that because you get catch real easily. Okay, enough of that fun. And I dropped more things on this floor. Okay, enough of that fun. We're going to put a little finish on this. I like doing this while it's on the lathe because I can keep it turning while I'm soaking it in. It's a lot easier to do than when it's just laying on your hand or something. It's just easier. And yes, normally I would put a pad down here, but I'm not too worried about it dripping on here, and it's just oil, so it's easy to wipe off. At this point, I'm not putting shellac or something like that. If you're doing shellac or lacquer or something like that, I would definitely put a towel or something down underneath this. Do something to protect it. Okay, now we've got this exposed bark. I've got to get in here and paint all those surfaces. And we'll do the outside again. And this tung oil is relatively thick. It's not thin, runny thin. So when you pour it on, it does take a few seconds for it to roll off. So you got time to grab your brush and get back here before it rolls up there, before it drips off. And we did get really, really close because if you see here, it's not even this. It's thinner than this brush. And of course, we've got a miter inside there, so that miter's a little over 1/8 of an inch. So we're probably at about 1/8 of an inch or less from bottoming out there. So we achieved that twice now. Now, the next one, we're doing a green turn, and that one we're going to have to be a little bit more circumspect with our bottom. So it is going to warp a little bit as we go. Let me turn this off. I'm sorry. That gets a little annoying. I'm sorry. Okay. So I know we're losing a few people at the moment. So let me kind of show you what we have done here. And this is not the last one. There's still one more to go. So don't go away. There is one more turning coming up. Okay. We will be turning one more bowl. But what do you think? That's the colors. That's the sides. Yes, we have this big opening here, but I don't know. That kind of adds character to it. You'll be surprised. People like buying those kind of bowls. And then this is the bottom here, which I'll need to put another coating on too, but we'll set that aside. So now we have these two from the same piece of wood. Oops, sorry. We have two from the same piece of wood. And you can see subtle differences. Obviously, the size and the angles and how I cut them. This one's a little deeper and so forth, but both of them different coloring a little bit more movement in the wood too. But I like these. And as I said, they will draw attention, and people will buy them if I ever get out there to another show. I haven't been out to a show in a while. My house is starting to get filled. Yes, the void creates character. Now, some people would take acrylic and a resin and fill that kind of wood with acrylic resin and do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, except that A, I don't like the smell of acrylics. B, I don't think it always comes out well. It doesn't turn as well as I would like it to turn. And C, we were kind of trying to show you guys, some of the natural ways of turning these woods. So I don't want to get the acrylic in the way of that, because that does change a lot of aspects of what you're doing. So allow me to do just a little bit of cleanup here before we go on to the next bowl. I got to get a little bit of this floor cleaned off too. Oh, I'm going to kill myself. So I'll vacuum the floor first. Okay. Some off the floor, that's good. Now we'll get some off of here. There. Yeah, I know it's not much fun watching somebody vacuum. Probably a little bit irritating on the ears too. Yep. It's necessary to keep your area a little bit cleaned up. Not perfect, but at least a little cleaned up. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to step over here for just a moment. I will be right back. Just give me a second. Okay. When you know Amazon always shows up when I'm in the middle of filming one of these. But you don't dare leave anything out there for the parts pirates to steal, right? Okay, so here we are. And I think I'm going to take a little bit off of here first before I go to the sides this time. Only because it's a little bit thick. As you can see, a little bit thicker here than it is on here. I want to kind of straighten that out just a little bit. Just want to get the feel for it. Now let's get the speed up. There we go. That's not perfectly straight yet, but we're getting there. And I don't have to necessarily make it all straight. I can make it up. We give that a little bit more curve. And I come over here to the side and get the side rounded up now. And then we'll go back to the bottom. Oops. Let's see. There we go. That just about did it in one turn, but we'll go one more time. Get the time speed up. There we go. There we are. Yeah, we're getting more of it rounded up. Okay. Around here, or we're pretty much around here. In fact, that scraper cut did a real nice job, except on the end part here. So that end grain we'll get a little bit later. So anybody wants to comment or subscribe or double hit your screen or like this video, I'd really appreciate it. We're up to something like 89 likes. Let's see if we can't get to 100 likes. Okay, so if you haven't liked it yet, please do. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that too. We're trying to get to that 4,000 mark, and we're really, really close. So if you can be the ones that help us get to that part, I would really appreciate that. It would really make my Christmas. I'm going to use a scraper here. Bull-nose scraper is great for this sort of thing. I'm going to leave my tool rest just a little bit. Bull-nose scraper just really does a job here. And let's see what that did. That really shaped that out. Now I can make the bottom here, and then I'm going to use a different skew to kind of straighten up the bottom here, and then I will be able to make my my mortise inverted tenon here. So okay, got that flat. Got that mostly done. That's going to have to be sanded out just a little bit. Like again, this is green and this is a different oak. This is cork oak. It has a little different pattern to it, and it's a little bit on the green side. So we're going to have to approach it a little bit differently. That's why I'm doing it this way. So hopefully we're learning a little bit as we go. I'll put my right about there. Okay, that marks it. And I can use my skew to make my tenon. I know this isn't enough yet. I probably need to go a little bit further out, but I just want to kind of judge where I'm at. Oh, no, I can get in there. Okay. Yep, I'm in there. Good. Well, my eye was better than I thought. I actually nailed it. So now let me clean this up. That's all clean. It's a clean edge. This is smooth, it looks like, right across. So that should hold. Hopefully. It is, like I said, it's green. It could be subject to tear out. And that's something we have to worry about as we go along with this. But I think for now, I can go right to sanding. I think we are, well, you know what? I'm speaking ahead of myself here. I want to skew this outer edge just a little bit before I say that. Okay. And so I've got this, these are all ridges and they're not smooth. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but let me see if I can, maybe if I pick the speed up a little bit, I can get in there just a little bit better. Okay. Very, very, very thin, very fine. I think that's just the way the wood strands there. And I'm going to have to see what happens when I sand it, I guess, because it's not coming off with a tool. It's also kind of rough along here. I think that just has to do with the way this wood is put together, so to speak. It was a very odd cork oak. And like I said, it is green wood. So that has something to do with this also. Okay. Yeah, see when I sand over it, it kind of goes away. So, all right, I'm going to turn this on. Hey, Depression, how you doing? This is the third bowl today. There we go. We lost a few of our viewers after the last one because I think they thought I wasn't going to do a third bowl, but I'm doing a third bowl. So, and I had to do a little vacuuming, a little other work. And sometimes that bores people. I understand, but it is Christmas, right? So give me a Christmas present. Give me a Christmas present. Give me to 100 likes on this video and subscribe if you can, please. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a free gift for me. It helps us get to that 4,000 mark. I'd really appreciate it. And even if you want to comment on here, please comment all you can too. You know, we could really use the conversation in the chat. I get bored listening to myself. You probably get bored listening to me too. So let's do us both a favor and put some comments in there. Let me know what you're doing for Christmas. Are you going out? Are you going to a movie? You going to spend time with your family, your kids, your grandparents? I don't see. We're not going to be doing any traveling, mostly because they're expecting a river of rain coming our direction, and so I don't really want to be out in that. They have flash flood warnings. Actually, they've had flash flood warnings up for about the last 4 days to tell us that it's coming. And that's mostly just the government covering their own butt so they don't get blamed later that they didn't tell anybody. And it has nothing to do with whether they're prepared or not, but that's a different story. This is interesting here. Now I can see that is no longer rough, that is smooth, but the grains are still flying off the direction. It's really kind of weird. So that's end grain. This is end grain. This is side grain. We're just kind of sanding this all down. Make it look real pretty. Ooh, do that. And then we'll put some stuff on here and we'll move on. Okay, so let's put some stuff on here. Now, this is going to look a lot different than the other ones. With my mask hitting the ground. Turn that off. But it will still give you some look as to what it looks like when it is sealed. This is going to be a much lighter wood. Cork oak tends to be pretty white. It's very hard. Cork oak is very hard. The outside cork, because it holds on, and they use that cork. I mean, it's cork oak because they use it for making corks or for providing cork, I should say, for all your wine spirits and other bottles, and has done it for thousands of years. And the immigrants who came to our part of California brought these with them because they were growing wine grapes and they were Portuguese mostly, in Spanish, but Portuguese, and they were used to having cork oak to stop all their bottles. So they planted them, and now we have cork oak that's between about 150 and 200 years old all over the place out here, and still got a lot of grapes. Got a lot of everything in the Central Valley, but there. Isn't that pretty? It's just a pretty natural color. I really like that. Kind of get that in closer for you. Okay. So we're going to let that soak in for just a moment. Got to get some of this off of me. Phew. Okay. Got the speed here. Do a little buffing on that. Again, I tested this earlier, and this is about 17 to 18% moisture still, so it's very high in moisture content. So I anticipate this is going to warp just a little bit, not a lot, based on the grain and based on my experience with this particular wood. I can make it curve to my will, so to speak, but it is not going to curve. It's not going to turn like really oval or anything like that. It's just going to have a very mild or subtle turn to it. So let's get the faceplate off of here. It's our third one of the day. And we've been turning for about 2.5 hours, so I'm trying to see if I can get this done in the next half an hour, 45 minutes. That's a pretty long video. And if we get to 4,000, I'll be giving away one of my bowls. Maybe more than one. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Have to figure out all the logistics and all, but if it's possible to send the bowl to you, I send the bowl to you. And if for some reason you're not allowed to send it because of restrictions on certain types of woods in the country or something like that, then we'll figure out something else, maybe a tool or something like that. So I know different countries like in Europe and all have rather unusual rules when it comes to things coming into the country, and we got to respect those. So rain is supposed to be getting here around midnight. Yeah. Well, if you look outside, 1 minute it's sunny and 1 minute it looks like rain clouds. So it's kind of like crazy. We'll see. But I did see what happened up in Redding, Oregon, or Redding, California, and where my wife just came through last week. And Redding, California got floods like crazy. And Redding doesn't flood very often. It's a just not normal for them. So we shall see what's going to happen. Okay, we are clear. Always want to make sure you're clear. Okay, we're going to have some rough spots here. That's okay. You want to be careful as we go. Yeah, I'm a little low here. Yeah, that looks a little better. I know. Turn it off before you move it. What the heck? Okay, then we can speed this up a little bit. Okay. Now, the nice thing about this wood is we're not getting all that burl mess that we had in the other ones. It's more. We should be able to turn it a little cleaner. And I think I'm going to need to sharpen this again. And it needs just a little sharpening. The rule they always say is, if you think you need to sharpen your blade, you should have done it 10 minutes ago. So we will sharpen the blade quickly here. It takes set your clock, your watches if you'd like. Okay. 30 seconds. And there, we got a nice brand new grind on there. So let's see how this goes. What do you think of the dip? See the difference between a blade that is somewhat sharp, that is really sharp. Okay, that is the difference. So, like I said, when you think that you're it, you probably 10 minutes ago, and it only took me 2 strokes back and forth in my Wolverine jig, or what do you want to call it? There's a lot of different names for it, but it's basically the same thing. Because I already have it set up. I already have it set at the right angle for this. Something banging here. Just a second. What is that? I think I will tear out piece or something. This looks a lot more like the white oak that you're used to seeing in lumber yards and so forth. And I assume it's probably from the same general species, and that's why the white oak tends to be really hard compared to some other oak varieties. I think that's what you're seeing here. Is this is the one of the harder versions. Of course, it being green, it's a little bit easier to turn. If we waited until it's dried out, this would have been a real chore to turn. And if anybody's still watching here, please hit the like button and subscribe. Or double tap your phone. We'd really appreciate it. I know I've had some friends in here from time to time. They kind of pop in and out. I don't know if Chase is still in here or not. Wilson's probably heading to bed soon, I would think. I don't know if do have a lot of friends out there, though, that you want to check out their channels, too. They're all in my description and on the video down here. They're in the description area, but you check out the Whacking Shack or 77 Rockets, New Beginnings Workshop, Timber Designs, Mike Wilson's new place is a board, what is it, new board, woodworking or something like that. I can never remember yours, Mike. But it's in the description page. So just check out the description page. Go and check out their channels. Say hi to them. Tell them I sent you. Say, hey, Jeff, over 2-minute tips. Or just say 2-minute tips. There's also Mike is making stuff. We call him Mims. Mike is making stuff. Is always making stuff out of different things. Yes, I thank you. I know your channel is about 50-50. Can you can you put your channel up there where everybody else can see? If you want, feel free to do that. I'll let you post your channel on my comment section here. All the wood turners tend to help each other. It's kind of a fraternity. Not even fraternity. There's a lot of women too. We have women in our Sequoia wood turning group, and they have their own separate woodworking group. And they turn out some amazing stuff. On my chats here from time to time. Hampton Wood channel number? Or is that just that's your channel number? Great, and we'll use that. Hampton Turnings. Check out Hampton Turnings, guys, and give them a try too. Last week I passed 200 videos, so I've got quite a library of videos on there for people to see, and hopefully you'll check some of them out, people. And okay, you can see on this and in here, and I've got a little bit of ways to go, not a lot, but I want to make sure that I'm keeping all the edges where they should be. Maybe thinning it out just a little bit. And so far, I've just been using the gouge. I like to start using my scraper and get the bottom all smoothed out and looking nice. And I know we always have these discussions about whether you should have a tenon that hangs out like a regular tenon, or you should have a mitered tenon. I like to have the mitered tenon myself because I can put it back on here and refinish the whole thing. With a tenon, and I take the tenon off, I can't go back then and see. I love how that scraper kind of just takes all that out of there. Let's see, I am pretty near the bottom. I don't think I can do much more of that bottom. I might be able to do a little bit on the side here. But I cannot do any more of that bottom. I want the sides to match the bottom on this one. So we are about. This is the old fooling the eye thing again. If you angle the angle in, it will appear thinner than it actually is. Okay. That's good. Okay. I think we are going to stop. I think, let me see. I think it's down there a little bit. Okay, I think I can go a little bit here. Kind of push down. Because we arched the bottom. We arched the bottom here. We kind of curve that up. So I can kind of curve this down a little bit too. Yeah. There we go. You want to be a one continuous stroke, it makes it much better. Okay, that feels better. All right, good. So we got that down. Let's get into the sanding. Only 2 likes away. Come on, let's get to 100 likes. 98 likes. Come on, you guys. There's got to be 2 people out there that like me enough. Or use a secondary account or something. Come on and give me a secondary account like or something like that. I don't want to stop with 98 likes. And honestly, I'd like to have more subscribers too. If we could, boy, I really would have loved if we'd have gotten to our mark of 4,000 subscribers. And we were only 120 away. It just seems like it's really hard to get subscribers lately. I'm not sure why. But lately, subscribers have been hard to come by. Even though we have lots of viewers. I had 200,000 viewers a couple weeks ago on one of my videos, and we only had like 30 subscribers out of 200,000. Hi. Well, my wife came back and she's got bags in her hand, so I guess she must have bought me some more. She must have bought me some more Christmas presents, right? That's what I'm gonna think. More Christmas presents for me. Oh, Hobby Lobby. Oh, oh well. I was hoping. Okay, I'm gonna do a little reverse sanding here. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of roll this a little bit. All right. And what's funny is that ridge there is not even from the sanding. That's just from the hardness of the wood in different places. Let me see here. I don't know if I can make that go away or not. A little bit. Okay. All right. So let's put some finish on this and turn this off. About 90 away from 4K subs. Thank you. Well, again, that means we got about 30 subs today, and would really like to get to 4K before the end of the year, but I don't know if we will because we're not going to do our normal Thursday live like we do every Thursday. Like I said, this week we're going to have we're going to have Christmas, so I'm not going to be doing a live, and you shouldn't be watching them anyway. You guys should be with your family doing things, not watching videos on YouTube. So I'm going to assume that all of you will have better things to do than be watching me, and I'm going to have better things to do than be sitting here turning when I should be doing things with my wife. On the other hand, if she gives me the right presents, I might be out in the shop anyway. And we may do a busier thing maybe on Friday or Saturday after Christmas. Maybe we'll just talk about tools you guys got or tools I got, and kind of compare notes and have a little conversation just for the fun of it, just to see where everybody's at after the holiday and what your plans are for the new year. So we may do that. I don't know yet. I'm not planning that far ahead yet. Who knows? Santa might just not drop anything off, right? So I'm sure Santa will bring something. I gave Santa enough ideas. Anyway. Okay, so there's our third piece. All right. Let me clean this off just a little bit while that's drying. And I have a full bucket to clean out after today. Oh, look at all this. I love watching this run through the pipe. It all goes over to the dust deputy there, and it separates it all out. The air goes through the system, and everything else drops into the bucket. I only have to clean out my actual shop vac that this is all attached to about once a year. And even then, I don't really need to do it most of the time. This last time I did because I did something really stupid. I let it overflow. And when it overflows, all the stuff goes down into the bucket, and that's what happened. So that was my fault. But the general system that I have built up here, 99.9% of it goes into the bucket, and just a tiny percentage goes down into the bucket, goes into the big bucket underneath. So I'll get this all cleaned up and get this out to the trash before the rains come. There. So let's set this all down and show you what we got, okay? I'll let Perry know he's still with us, and I will let him know that you contacted me. Wilson, you're going to go eat dinner. Yeah, Wilson, you have a Merry Christmas too. I really appreciate you being around. Again, I want to see some of your videos here soon. You got us left us all. I want to leave this on here soon. You left us all kind of hanging there for some videos, so want to see some of your work you've been doing. I know you've been getting some contracts, and that's terrific. And I know you've been really, really, really busy with everything right now. So Merry Christmas to you. Actually, Merry Christmas to everybody, or Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Halloween, or whatever it is, whatever you sorry. Festivus. If you guys my friend, spend as much time as you can. It's priceless time together. That's true. Yeah, you can't always make up time with your spouse or a significant other. That's for sure. My father-in-law, who's 90 and a half, and maybe he's watching. If you are, hey, Dad. But my father-in-law just lost his wife here, and today was her birthday. She would have been 91 years old today. Unfortunately, she left us a couple months ago. And so he's carrying on without her this year for Christmas. And today they were going out to celebrate her birthday. at the grave site, and that's obviously a sad occasion. But at the same time, she led a really good life. They had a lot of wonderful years together, and like you said, you got to enjoy them while you got them, right? So anyway, you guys all, thank you very much for being here today. This is the three bowls. Now, this is the smallest one. This was the first one we did. This was the oak burl, and as you can see, the finish is dried on this one now. It's got a really nice look to it. I'm probably going to go back and sand this down a little bit. But it is every one of these I made with a very small miter edge. That's about an eighth of an inch, maybe not even that, maybe 3/32. But so it doesn't take much to hold these, and that's what I'm always telling people. You don't need a big, deep miter to hold this wood. All three of these stayed on there. We had no problems. Knock on wood. Now, see this one. This oak looks completely different than these oaks. This is the cork oak, and it looks more like a regular white oak type wood would look. Makes very nice bowls, and we had three pieces of wood that were generally the same size, a little bit different. One we made with an edge that went like this. One we went with an edge that came from the top down, went outward. We had to undercut it a little bit. And this one we left with a little bit of slope on the bottom and then flat sides. And we were able to go a little thinner with this one because it is a more solid piece of wood. Obviously, this one we lost the edge. That's okay. That's part of the process, right? So we can put these all like that. And that's our three bowls for the day. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. I see we have 104 likes. There's still 72 of you out there, or 78 of you out there. So if you could, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, please. Really, we're trying to get to 4,000. We're getting so close. It would really help us a lot if you guys could help us get to that 4,000 mark. No real reason not to subscribe. There's a lot of advantages to being a subscribed member, and we're going to be turning some more wood here in the near future. We've got some. In fact, let me show you some of the things we're going to be turning. We have. This is the smaller of two pieces of Modesto ash. This is the smaller one. Modesto ash is very hard. It can be very difficult at turning, even though it's very straight. It's got a lot of end grain to it, and this is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge to make this a really good piece. It's got a bigger brother here. I've got some more of that juniper, I think, right here. And I still have to figure out what to do. Now, this is painted. This is the actual wood that you can see, and obviously we can't keep the bark. But the person who had this painted these, so I'm going to have to get underneath the paint. I won't know until I get in here what I've got, because if there's any cracks, there still could be cracks in there I don't know about. We have a piece of birch, and we're going to be going through this piece of birch, and it has beautiful colorings in here, and we'll probably end up losing this bark, but I think we can make a nice looking bowl out of this piece. I've got some really big pieces outside the shop, but here's one of the more ambitious ones that we'll be doing coming next year. I'll show this to you. See if I can get this in the camera. Okay. This is what's coming up. Now, this is one of those tables that, if people get inexpensive furniture with, and you get this. This was thrown away. I found it. It was sitting on the side of the road, basically. So I grabbed it, and as you can maybe able to see here, I've already kind of traced out some 4 large plates and about 6 or 7 small plates out of this one piece. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them together so it'll actually be this thick, I think. I'm not sure yet. I may still just turn them as a single turning, but I think I'm going to put them together and then make them a little thicker. So we're going to get several small bowls or plates out of this board. So that's another little project we've got going in the background. So I got a lot of things in the plans. There's probably 10 more pieces of wood just sitting back here. Uh, so I've got a lot going on as far as ideas for the future here. And when we get to 4,000, it's going to be a lot easier to keep doing these kind of projects. So if you can, please pass this along to other people. Yeah, it can be like turning a rock. You're absolutely right. And I've got two of them. That the second one is massive, so it's going to be it's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to be sharpening my tool constantly just to kind of get any kind of a bite in there. And once I get it turned around onto the recessed miter, then you're trying to hog out all that. That is a lot of work. So we'll see how that goes. You're absolutely right. So to everybody at Hampton Wood Turnings, thank you very much for being here. I will let Perry know that you contacted me, and I will pass that along. And if anybody has any questions, please leave them here in the comments. But all of you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't see you before then, I will try to be on here a couple times. If you're subscribed, you'll be notified. So that's one of the advantages of being subscribed here, is that you will know when we're on. So thank you very much for your time, and we will talk to all of you real soon. Bye.